I recently moved to Rotterdam. I'm the new guy in town and I'm on a mission to find out what's really going on here. I want to get to know the people who live here and I'm gonna do it my way. I printed out over 100 flyers and I put them up all around the city. It's like fishing, but my bait is a piece of paper and my catch are people and their stories. While I was walking around putting flyers up on poles, I saw a car. This was the only car I put the flyer on. And you guessed it, it was a catch.
I'm Boris and this is my car. I'm a student in Delft, so I live here in Rotterdam, and this is a Renault Fuego, which is an old French car. It's built in 1981, so it's over 40 years old. And I bought this to restore a little and just to drive it around. Only one of 37, it's a pretty rare car in the Netherlands.
Do you know anything about that bridge?
It used to be a train bridge. It's a monument, so it's not. It's supposed to stay like this, and they keep it like this, but they will dismantle it anyway.
Why are they going to dismantle it?
Well, the plan is that they will dismantle it for the yacht that Jeff Bezos is going to buy a few kilometers upstream, and it's too tall for this bridge, so it has to pass. And then Jeff Bezos is going to pay for maintenance and for the dismantling of the bridge as well. It's actually not too bad that he will pay for maintenance, but it shouldn't happen anyway, because it's a bad thing that you can just buy your way out of everything, and that shouldn't be the possibility.
Tell me your story. What do you study? What do you like? What do you dislike?
Yeah, well, of course. So I study in Delft, and I studied mechanical engineering for my bachelor's, and I finished that a year ago now. And after that I did a half year of working and traveling, and now I'm studying offshore engineering, also in Delft, while living here in Rotterdam. And well, I of course like the technical stuff, to work on stuff like this. I also have an old motorcycle which I did some work on, and now I'm working on this. For example, when I bought it, the disc brakes were completely warped, and I replaced them next to the pavement on the sidewalk. Just on the streets, and everyone is looking at you, and they come and have a talk, and it's I enjoy doing stuff like that.
Would you say that you're a skilled mechanic or engineer?
Well, no, absolutely not. I know my way around tools, but a skilled mechanic, definitely not, because it takes years of practice to become a skilled mechanic. I do know what I'm doing, and I can solve a lot of problems that occur, but I'm not a very skilled mechanic. But I do enjoy working on it, so I think that's more important than and I learn while doing it.
Where were you born? Were you born in Rotterdam or Delft?
No, I was born in Utrecht, and I lived my whole life in a small village near Utrecht, in an old house, always actually surrounded by special cars as well, and old cars. Well, I was there all my childhood, and when studying I moved to Delft, where I lived for 5 years, and now I'm living here in Rotterdam for 1 year now.
I've been living here for half a year. I'm curious what you think about this city.
Yeah, it's a good question actually, because it's a relatively new city. And that makes it that it's one of the only cities with a lot of tall buildings and not a lot of older ones like Amsterdam with the canals and Delft with the canals. This is all kind of new. And that makes it not so interesting to look at actually. It's if you want to be here as a tourist.
Boris, what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear? That's a difficult question. I don't think I really have an answer to that immediately, but let me think about it.
Sure.
I'll get back to you later.
Sure.
You also have to drive extra carefully because it has no airbags or safety features whatsoever.
Except the belt.
Yeah, but they don't really work. But it's really easy to work on. If I open the bonnet, I know what's what, and I can see everything, and I can work on everything. So that's pretty easy actually. That's a nice thing about working on an old car. You do something and then you have an immediate result. You see what you're doing and you see the results, and that makes it nice to have. That makes it enjoyable to work on it. For example, I did the seats as well. I reupholstered the seats myself because it was in an old bluish fabric, which was well, torn apart, torn away, and really ugly. So I bought some fabric at the local market, and then I just started working. I never worked with a sewing machine or anything, and I started working on it, and it was hell. It was not enjoyable at all because it was really difficult. But in the end, when I had my results, it was really nice, and I'm really happy with how the seats look now. I don't really choose a little project to work on. I just think, oh, I don't like how this is now, so I'm going to try and fix it. And then I just start working on it, and I hope in the end it will work out. But I will always find a new thing, I'm afraid, to work on. It will always be a work in progress. There is always something I can change and make better.
Yeah, but that's the case with everything in life.
Yeah, of course. So it will never really be finished probably, and I don't really mind that. It's as long as I still enjoy it, I will keep on working on it. Because the car is now kind of blue, and originally it was well, the color is named metallic champagne, which is French for gold, and I do want it back, maybe the original color, because it's original, so it kind of should be in that color.
Yeah. It shows what?
It's some sort of it shows the air pressure in the inlet manifold, but I'm not sure why it does that. The previous owner did it, I think, because it looks sporty, and he wants to make the car look sporty, but it's not really a sports car. I mean, they advertised it as a sports car back in the day, but it's 65 horsepower.
What are you most proud of?
Well, I'm proud that I finished my bachelor's with mechanical engineering. That's not necessarily the case. A lot of people do not finish the bachelor. So I'm proud that I finished, that I have my actual degree. And I'm also very proud that I made it to the North Cape on my own, on a motorcycle. And I had lots of problems during the trip, but I all solved them also during the trip. Problem solving is a big part in mechanical engineering. So I solved all the problems I had just on the road, and I'm also proud that I know how to do that, and I know how to fix that, and that I came home back in one piece. Even though with a little crash I had.
What was the crash?
It was I arrived on the North Cape, and I had been there during the day, and at night it was fully light, of course, because it was in the summer. so it's light all day. And I was there at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was driving back, it started to rain, and at some point it was a 10-minute drive or something, and at some point there was a deer on the road. It came out of nowhere and I hit the brakes and both my wheels locked and I just slided off the road.
Oh my god.
And the bike threw me off, and I think I was going 80 or something, but at the time of falling I was going way slower. But it was a scary moment. I checked myself and I was shouting at the deer, and then I was a bit angry with myself. But yeah, I had my ribs hurt a little and my thumb as well. But I didn't really have a choice, so I picked up the bike and it didn't start. But it was downhill, so I drove it back to where I was staying. And the next morning I looked at the damages and I just fixed it. I fixed everything. I fixed the brake handle broke, and some other things broke off as well, and I fixed it and I just went on. I started driving again, which was a little scary in the beginning, but I think it's good to immediately start driving after a crash, because then you get the confidence you need to drive safely.
So did you think of an answer for my previous question, if you remember it?
Yeah, I was still thinking about it. And it's difficult to say. I mean, yes, of course I'm afraid of certain things, but I mean I don't enjoy heights, you know, and I don't enjoy walking on next to a steep cliff. But it's not that I'm really scared, or it's a real fear.
But do you have an existential?
No, not. I was even consider that, but yeah, I mean, of course, you fear losing people, but that's also it happens, you know. It's you can also enjoy the time you have and not fear everything around it.
Would you say this car is your most prized possession?
No, I don't think so actually, because it's I mean it's still just a thing, you know. It's a car, and it can be. I really like the car, but it can be replaced, and I work on it a lot myself. So if I mess something up, I see it as a learning thing. And of course I do care, but it's not as bad as some others would have with their cars probably. So I don't think it's my most prized possession, but I still really like working on it, and I would still be sad if I wouldn't have it now, or would crash really badly now. That doesn't mean that. I mean, a scratch in it isn't nice, but it happens with cars, you know. It's an object I use.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's I'm not gonna let the car be in a garage somewhere and just look at it, because the car is supposed to be used.
Is there something you think people assume about you or judge you in a specific way that you think is just not the case?
I think I'm pretty much an open book, so I don't really. I think I behave like it's expected, and I think people judge me the way I am, which is fine. Some people might think I'm a little arrogant, which could be true sometimes. So even that would be fair.
Oh really? I would never say you're arrogant. In what way?
Well, if I have an opinion about something, I'm not afraid to share my opinion with people. So it's I'm not afraid to say what I think.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think it's you shouldn't lie or do other things, because other people want you to say something like that. You should say because you think it's true.
What would you say is your core value?
My core value? I think I'm honest. Just honesty. Yeah.